Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thank you for joining us here at 816 Podcasting and presenting episode 8 of Mark Out Wrestling. On today's episode, we have a special guest, Rich Johnson. He's a listener of Mark Out Wrestling. He's going to be helping us out as we recap No Mercy and look ahead to Raw. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Fantastic. Never better.
Yeah? Really? Never better?
Never better.
Well.
So, we'll start with the undercard?
Yeah.
Elias and Apollo Crews?
Right.
What you guys think?
It was a good match, right? Like, Apollo Crews always puts on good matches. Whether or not you think he has charisma or that is one thing. In between the rings, though, he always puts on good matches, and I'm really liking Elias.
You think Apollo Crews should go back to NXT?
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
There was definitely a rush when it comes to him. I don't think he cut a single promo in NXT from memory.
Yeah.
I think he had maybe 3 televised / takeover matches, if at all, and he got the call up immediately. I think he was definitely one of, if not the most rushed NXT prospect.
Right, because he's in ring ready.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
Like, there's no question about that. But
he's the resident jobber of Raw. Like, they don't make it feel that way because, like, they make his matches not so squashy.
Right.
Unless he faces Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins is the resident jobber on Raw.
Yeah, but even
that's
he's
his
got
gimmick.
a
Right, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
No, Apollo definitely looks strong in his losses.
And I said this, and Titus O'Neil isn't good enough on the mic to get somebody else over who isn't good on the mic. Right. You know what I mean? So, like, he's cool as a manager, but he's not good enough to...
The other way, I think. I think someone needs to carry him.
Right, exactly. But
it's like when they were the primetime play, as Darren Young was obviously carrying most of the vocal work for that tag team. So,
right, sure.
And he's supposed to come back soon.
Yeah,
he's already cleared. He's been doing live shows.
Didn't he make his house show debut?
Yeah, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah,
so
it should be a matter of time before he's on Raw.
Is he still with Backlund?
I don't think so.
Or did they kind of drop that?
I think they've
already?
nixed that.
Okay.
I would imagine. But I mean, overall, for a kickoff match, it was fine.
Yeah,
really
Elias went over.
Elias's finisher is so cool.
It is. It's really good.
Yeah, we split on 4 different matches. And
I know.
We went 2-2.
Yeah,
we drew out. So
it's fine. Yeah, it was a good way to start the pay-per-view, I guess.
So it looks like they're pushing Elias pretty good. But do you think he ever gets out of like mid-card range? Because I don't think he's lost a match since Finn Balor. And losing to Finn Balor is,
he didn't look weak.
Not so bad. Yeah.
I mean, not anytime soon.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's still...
You see his ceiling is like upper mid-card? Or do you think he goes
probably
long term, I can see him holding a mid-card title.
Right, yeah. He could definitely be an IC champion, U.S. champion, something like that. Yeah. I don't see him holding a heavyweight title, though, if that's what you're asking.
So I was wrong about the Cruiserweight Championship being on the...
on the pre-show?
On the pre-show. It's only been on the pre-show. I think they just needed like...
They needed something to fill the
They needed that cool-off
Yeah,
match.
exactly. Between Roman Reigns and Cena and the main event. Which
it cooled everybody off.
Yeah. Was a cool-off match. But so let's...
like a cool-off half hour.
So this is one that I got right. Enzo Amore wins. Becomes Cruiserweight champion.
Yeah. I
hate wrestling. He's the baby face using the heel tactics.
I hate wrestling.
Yeah, it
made no sense. Like it
reminds me of when the New Day first started getting over. Like they would still cheat to win,
but the fans were into it. Yeah.
But that was the thing. Like they were supposed to be like over the top, like heels or over the top faces. Like Enzo is just man. Like, have you seen like all the tweets from everybody in the cruiserweight division?
Like Cedric,
they're all saying it's trash. Like TJP, somebody asked him what he thought about Enzo being champion. He's like, as far as I'm concerned, the title's vacant right now. So
that's pretty awesome.
It's just, man, why do you think they did it? Just because of how good he is on the mic, how marketable he is?
Yeah, I think they want the merchandise sell, man.
That's the only thing I can think of.
But he's already had that, and this is my only argument towards it. He's had the merchandise sale since they got called up from NXT.
Right.
He's had that moniker of I'm one of the easiest moving T-shirts on this brand, and I honestly think if this is their last push to try and get more eyes on the cruiserweight, they drop the ball.
They really dropped.
They
100%
dropped the ball from the get-go, and like I told you yesterday, like we had matches with Kota Ibushi, we had damn near a 5-star match with Cedric Alexander in the Cruiserweight Classic.
We need Kota Ibushi back.
we need something.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it's Enzo.
No,
he didn't sign
not at all.
after the Cruiserweight Classic because of like personal reasons or something.
He wanted to continue doing
Yeah.
I want to say DDT.
But it was
'Cause his
supposed to
heart
be
was
like
in
a short
DDT.
time
Yeah.
before he came back, right?
Yeah.
But he
But
hasn't
then
come
he signed the contract to do the Tiger Mask stuff for
Right.
New Japan.
Yeah. He just
So-
said like there was stuff outside of WWE he still wanted to accomplish.
See, I think, and Glenn disagrees with me, I think Johnny Gargano should have came up and built off Neville.
I don't want Gargano in the Cruiserweight division. That's the only reason why I disagree with you.
I would be torn because I would love to see that. I think Neville and Gargano could be a great program.
Yeah.
But
It could be a
I
great
don't
program
want to
on
see
the main
Gargano
roster.
stuck in what the current cruiserweight mold is.
Right. And he thinks, like he said that he thinks Gargano could come up and elevate the division. And I think it's so far gone now
I
that
think
I don't
so,
even
but
think he could.
we are past the point of no return with this division. If
I
they
don't think
don't,
so.
if they don't intermingle that roster with the rest of the roster and make it feel less segregated and less, hey, the purple rope guys are out here still, even though they're obviously not doing the purple duct tape, whatever. If they don't intermingle that roster, you're going to see guys like Noam Dar, like Cedric Alexander, who could have had promising futures in WWE, start to go off and do ICW stuff a lot more frequently,
Sure.
and PWG stuff a lot more frequently. Like they already, it feels like they're like giving the cruiserweight guys who don't get a lot of TV time more leeway to do more indie stuff.
Right. And that's the problem with Enzo is he isn't like good in the ring.
No.
Like he's not
He's
a
not
technical
cruiserweight.
wrestler. Exactly. He's not a technical wrestler. He's high flying in the sense that he jumps around the ring, but he's not fit for that division.
I will
Yeah.
give him props
He's not-
for that DDT off the top.
That
rope last
DDT
night.
off the top rope was dope as hell. But
That's about the best
It's the
in-ring work.
DDG, sir.
oh, the DDG.
Yeah, that's
My
what
Is
bad.
that's got a name.
I fucking I hate him. God damn it.
But like, if all of the backstage stuff wasn't so known to smart fans and to social media, would we hate this decision less?
No, I wouldn't.
I feel like it adds fuel to that fire for me personally. Like, if he wasn't such a douche outside, and I don't want to say that in the sense that I don't know the guy personally, but from what I have read and heard from multiple different people, you know, firsthand accounts of him getting obviously kicked off the bus and being this guy 24/7, it definitely adds fuel to a fire that I can genuinely dislike this guy when he's on screen.
I mean, I can see that, but just like me personally, just like it's his in-ring work.
Oh,
that-
yeah. He
that
definitely,
is so lackluster
Yeah.
that I don't want him. I don't want him holding a title, let alone carrying a whole division.
absolutely.
Like that's the thing. Like you have to think about it. Like think about what Neville meant to this division, and you've taken 30 steps back when you put
Definitely.
that title on Enzo.
No, 100%.
And people
It
can
feels
hate
divided
TJP all they want, but TJP can go between the ropes
TJP
10
is
times faster and harder
Yeah.
than
I love
Enzo was.
But here's the thing. Like I think another reason why they put this title on him is I could see them modifying this cruiserweight title and doing it in a way that they can sell another belt. Like this is literally just
Are we
a
getting,
merchandise.
Are we getting a
move.
cheetah
Well,
print
if
leather?
you saw the post
strap?
Raw show, that's exactly what he said.
That's what he
was gonna
said.
do to the belt,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good
He
God.
said he's gonna diamond it up. He said like until this belt gets changed, like I'll just throw it around. I don't care about it.
But like, doesn't it like make you mad when you think about like the matches that Neville and Austin Aries put on, and
Yeah.
and he couldn't get over, but
It makes me mad going back and watching the Cruiserweight Classic matches.
Those
Like,
matches were so good. That
Watching
tournament was
Noam Dar and
phenomenal.
Zack Sabre Jr. fight over a belt that is now held by Enzo Amore.
is ridiculous.
That's hard to swallow.
Oh man! So, do we get an Enzo heel turn? Because like this is going to be a program where we root for the heel and we boo the babyface for sure.
well, so that's the problem is because he's still going to be feuding with Neville, and Neville's not going to turn face. Neville
Right.
shouldn't turn
No,
face.
No, he absolutely
this
shouldn't.
Neville is the best.
But
Neville.
everybody's going to cheer for Neville in this program.
Big time.
Well, everybody cheered for Neville regardless. Like that's the thing. Like the traditional face and heels is so far gone in wrestling.
Do you think,
Really is.
and obviously we're starting to turn that way, do you think it's because we're starting to get to a point where the fans are more in love with what the heels are doing? Because this whole DX, NWO vibe that the Bullet Club has instilled in wrestling fans as a whole, that it's more fun to cheer on the popular guy rather than the quote-unquote good guy or boo the bad guy.
I think it's like you can just appreciate the work they're doing. Like a guy like Chris Jericho, who's supposed to be a heel, but like you can see he's doing like the best work of his career,
and gets
he's
some of the best
at
pops.
what he does.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think once you get past kayfabe, you just realize, man, this guy's just really good at what he does.
Yeah.
Neville is one of the best heels in the industry for
And
sure.
definitely one of the best workers.
Yeah,
And I think that's the thing.
Absolutely.
Like, people just want to cheer who they want to cheer now,
Yeah.
and they're not going to let WWE tell them who
Right.
that is. I mean, this isn't the Attitude Era anymore.
No.
So
it doesn't matter if AJ Styles is a heel or face.
He's getting cheered.
He's going to
Exactly.
get a pop no
Yeah.
matter what.
that's
I
without question.
love that Chris Jericho doesn't let them sell his merchandise when he's a heel. He's like, I don't want people to be seen in my T-shirts.
And then people just go out and make their own.
I will say this though: if there is one person in WWE that can get over as a heel, where you just like he genuinely makes you hate him,
Miz.
and then if he was a face, but then if he was a face, he could
would-
really.
yeah.
That's Kevin Owens
Big time.
in my book.
Oh yeah.
If Kevin Owens was a face, he'd be cheered like crazy. But like he does get cheered now still, but you can tell there are genuinely people that he just plays it so well that he makes you hate him. Even if you like him.
I don't want to sound like a broken record because I said this last week, but I think it's really because nobody buys into their character like him.
Oh,
Or say,
definitely.
like, like
It's
he makes
few
you
and far
believe
between.
that he believes what he's saying.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. Nobody immerses themselves into their
it's not
own
a character
persona.
for him. That's
Right.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why he's the best at what he does.
I agree.
Big time.
And so moving on, we had the women's fatal 5-way match. You had this one right, Alexa Bliss or
I said
Tane. I thought
Alexa.
it was going to be Jax. I got to say
I
though,
had Jax as well.
I think you have to stop harping on Jax. She's come so far from her days in NXT. She's a decent wrestler now, man.
Don't you tell me what to do. No, she looked really good in a match with 4 other women who are really good at what they do.
That's not. I wasn't just referring to this match.
No, but I
just mean in
This
general,
is-
she's much improved. She really is.
But she still doesn't belong on the main roster, in my opinion. She took a sick bump last night. She looked a lot better in that match last night than she does in a lot of her matches. I still think she's green as hell and could benefit from another year down in NXT.
I could agree with that. I'm not down on her. I think I agree with you. She's definitely come a long, long way from her Braun-esque squash matches on Raw at 8:05 our time when nothing else is going on.
Right.
And I agree with you, Glenn, that she did, I don't want to say get carried, but she was a piece of a 5-person match, and it's a lot easier to look good when there's 4 other things going on at the same time.
That match was awesome, by the way.
It was a great match. And I'm
It's easily second
That-
best match of the night.
That powerbomb she took off of the apron was, I mean, kudos to her. I wouldn't want to do
A
that.
little bit of a rough landing.
Right, yeah.
Little high on the neck.
I think she kneed herself in the face on
Yeah,
that.
the impact actually caused her legs to
Yeah.
physically
It
make
was the
contact with
girls
her
on the
face.
outside, like Bailey and whoever else was on the outside with
I
her.
want to say it was Emma.
I think it was Emma.
Yeah.
Bliss and Banks
Yeah,
were the
Emma
2 to
started
drop kick.
Right.
That's right. But like them pulling her down
Did
she
not
got
help,
kicked too.
yeah.
It didn't help.
Do you think Emma not taking the pin means anything for her?
I do. She actually looked kind of good in that match.
She did.
She had more spots than I thought she would.
I think
Alexa
it's a
Bliss
way
smacked
to
the
appease
shit out of
her.
Well, I think she's going to be Asuka's first feud on the main roster.
See, I don't.
I
have a weird gut feeling that when Asuka does come up, she's going straight for the belt and she takes it.
I mean, I'd be all right with that, but it's
Well, it sounds like the plan right now is so Asuka's coming back at TLC,
yeah, that's
Yeah.
her first match.
but the plan right now I think is Alexa Bliss and Nia 1-on-1 at TLC.
Sure, that's why
And
I
then
think
Asuka come out to
Yeah.
Emma.
kind of stand up.
Well, I mean, Asuka's the way they're advertising it is it's her
First match.
first match, right?
Okay.
So I
That's
could
all I know.
I could see it being. Are they going to have 2 women's matches on a pay-per-view card?
Wouldn't that be
We
awesome?
can get to this later with the whole, rumor mill and whatever, but if there are 2 belts that aren't being defended later that night, then it
Oh,
would make sense to
that's
fill
true.
the card with as much as possible.
Right.
And like I said, we can get to that obviously later, but that doesn't make terrible sense to have more than one women's match on the card, even if one is on the pre-show, unfortunately.
I agree.
Because I could see
There's enough
WWE doing
strong
that.
women now.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
you could easily have 3 good matches.
Let me
And
ask.
Go ahead.
Just like it's a little off topic, but it'll kind of fall in with Asuka. Do you think like the problem with like some of these guys, some of these people that get called up from NXT and they don't get over on the main roster? Do you think it's because not enough people that watch the main brands watch NXT?
I think that's a part of it.
And they can't appreciate what they've done down there.
Yeah,
definitely
NXT
think that's
is
part of it.
like just hardcore fans, really.
Right.
Whereas main roster's more casual. I don't know, because they still seem to know like the really big names, like when AJ Styles or Shinsuke makes a fucking, or Finn Balor makes a debut, but when the guys like the Revival, or maybe they don't. I don't know.
I think the Revival would be appreciated a lot more on the main roster, but like the time that they have been given has been kind of lackluster. But then they've both obviously have been injured and I haven't been able to stay on TV.
I want to say some of it is dictated off of when they debut. There's certain crowds you can debut in front of and get a huge pop.
Sure.
Like debuting Dash and Dawson, the Raw after Mania, in front of the same crowd that just watched them put on a 4 3/4 star match.
Yeah.
And then you can debut in front of Kansas City, who is not the best wrestling crowd when it comes to certain spots.
I don't know, man.
Being at the past couple live events, I will say that our crowd is slightly dead in certain situations where maybe a Chicago crowd or a Philly crowd is going to be a little bit more amped up for certain things.
But they're fucking assholes. Like those are two. You just named two of the worst crowds.
And I'm saying in terms of
or in WWE.
Brooklyn's worse, but yeah, Philly's pretty bad.
I'm saying in terms of energy, like regardless of what reaction they give, they're participating.
Yeah,
there have been crickets in the Sprint Center when I've been to at least one of the past 2 shows.
Sure, but. If a takeover was here, it wouldn't be the same way.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like any place where like the main roster,
I'm predicting that if we had a pay-per-view, people are traveling, not regular everyday fans that are getting off work and don't watch NXT, for instance, or don't watch very much outside of WWE programming. I think that definitely dictates whether or not, and go back to your point, what kind of reaction some people will get and how over or not over they do get with maybe a everyday crowd or an average crowd or a hardcore crowd.
I also think it's a little bit of like Glen said last week, it's a lot of hours of wrestling each week.
So much wrestling.
So like just like the 3 hours of Raw and the 2 hours of SmackDown
is too daunting for a lot of people. Yeah.
So to add more on that, you really have to be really
big time.
Yeah.
You have to love wrestling to be able to keep up with everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
And outside of WWE, I mean, you've obviously got loads of program you could watch.
Right.
And occupy all 24 hours of your Monday to just wrestling, not including WWE.
Well, that's the thing. I have watched 2 episodes of 205 Live since its debuted.
I watched the first episode.
Like, there's just... it's so much wrestling, and, like, that's... I don't want to say that's the worst, because, like, there are good matches on it, but...
Well, they've kind
just
of
get
gone
burnt
away
out.
from that, too, because, like, back when the Cruiserweight Classic, like, it was all about the wrestling.
Yeah,
and then it became, like, with, like, the whole Alicia Fox and Noam Dar. It became a gimmick kind of thing. Yeah. Like, there's too much bad storytelling there now, too.
Right.
Just let those guys go on the ropes.
Bad programming from Raw and let them do bad programming on another show.
While still doing bad programming
exactly.
on Raw.
Alright, so...
Sorry to go off topic.
Yeah, we got way off topic.
That's fine.
Are we done with the...
This is our show. So Alexa retains. Yeah. Right, so...
Was that the right move?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't see it being a bad move.
No.
And frankly, in that situation, I don't see them putting it on anyone else a bad move, because out of those 5 girls, you can have multiple different story options just within those 5.
I honestly, like, if the belt got... There's 2 people in this match that I think the belt shouldn't have gone on, and that's Nia Jax and Bayley. Like, I think those 2, if the belt got put on them, I don't think as much exciting stuff would have been done with the belt, whereas if Sasha got the belt, if Emma got the belt, man, that place would have erupted. I guarantee it.
Dude,
but
actually, the fans were more behind Nia than anybody else in that match.
I think she got a hometown pop.
Right, yeah.
Was it her hometown?
She's from California.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
But, I mean, so is Alexa.
Alexa's from Ohio.
I thought she was from California.
Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, I don't care.
I know my girl.
I don't know why I was thinking she was from California. Anyways, but
no,
so...
Bailey's from California. Bailey got booed in San
Oh, yeah, Bailey. Bailey's from California. So I think the smartest move was keeping the title on Alexa.
If you give that match 5 more minutes, that match is like a classic.
Oh,
That match was on its way.
I would put that match above the Fatal 4-Way at Mania for the women, the elimination match that they had.
Yeah.
I was more vested in this match than I was the Mania women's match because Nia got eliminated 4 minutes into it with a Shield-esque powerbomb.
Good.
Well, that WrestleMania match was so it was like a 10-minute match.
It felt rushed.
It was.
This
so
one
rushed.
felt like they had time and the parts played out.
It looked like they went in there trying to steal the show.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for
A
Raw
really
tag team
damn
titles,
good tag match. Yeah.
they would have.
Right.
So let's go into that.
Wait, hold on. Wait. You mean to tell me Miz and Jason Jordan wasn't match of the night?
How dare you?
How mad do you think the Miz is that he went from pre-show to opening match dud back-to-back pay-per-views?
Was it a dud?
I was not a fan of this match. And I don't blame the Miz because I love the Miz.
I thought it was a decent match.
I think
It was a
Jordan
good
is
match.
just stale because I told you when his offense revolves around just 3 different types of suplexes.
But that's not that's not true. That's not true. He does them, yeah, but to say he can go in the ring.
He can.
His entire offense is suplexes, but he mixes up. There's belly to belly, there's Northern Light, there's Germans, there's side suplexes.
I think his charisma wears off on his ring work in my perception of the character. And it feels...
Well, that's your fault.
It feels very vanilla.
I agree.
He's another guy that probably could have benefited either from staying in a tag team or staying in NXT as a singles competitor.
Right.
And I know that, the whole American Alpha getting called up wasn't his call, but...
American Alpha getting called up when they did, I think was fine. It was perfect. It was the right time. But you broke them up way too soon.
Yeah, and we haven't even seen Chad or Shelton on SmackDown in 2 weeks now. But
has it been 2 weeks?
It's been 2 weeks now.
Unbelievable.
But Jason Jordan needs a heel turn.
Yeah, 100%.
And not only it's the only way to get him over. Number 1, and number 2, because he's gonna get booed anyway.
Yeah,
with his gimmick.
Or he's gonna get crickets.
Yeah. And 2, his wrestling style to me fits a heel perfectly. Just that mat style, and just he could just throw people down.
When
keep
he
them
does
in headlock.
do that, that real guttural fizz face,
Yeah.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. Turn that dude heel.
Oh,
Make him
100%.
just blow up on half the face roster.
Yeah, there's already signs of it.
Yeah.
So they just need to go.
Do you think that, going off of that point, do you think eventually he turns on quote unquote Daddy-O?
Yeah, I think it'll fold out that he made the whole thing up.
Like he wanted the spotlight, so he pretended to be Kurt Angle's.
Yeah, it'll be something like that. I could definitely see that.
I'd like to see that more than just follow him throughout his whole career.
Right. Did you have Jason Jordan in this match?
I did have Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
But I said I hope that was wrong.
Right.
I actually text you as it's going on. I was like, I'm so glad I was wrong.
Yeah. It was a good match. It was a decent match.
I guess
it's a decent match.
I don't want to make anyone think that I'm shitting on the match. I thought it was a good match. I feel like the Miz.
It's weird how Jordan's matches are already predictable.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I think that's
new.
what kind of took me out of it.
Yeah.
It was I knew what was going to happen. I knew the Miz Taraj was going to get involved.
Right.
And it took me out of it a little bit.
I got mad when Jason Jordan did the Northern Lights, and Northern Lights, I was like, John Cena, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
This Miz better kick out.
Yeah.
Right. See, I think that promo after the match was so bad.
Was it
It was a heel promo,
intentionally
too.
bad?
He wasn't giving respect to his opponent or anything. He
Yeah,
was just making excuses.
I don't think it was intentionally bad. I just think Jason Jordan is not
good on the
not good on the
Well,
mic.
I don't think that script was very good.
I was going to...
No, yeah, for sure, but...
Oh, they chant, you suck.
Well, here's the thing,
hey, Miz, I think you... And it was just,
it looked like...
it was kind of cringeworthy.
I'm not going to lie, it
was
looked like at
schoolyard.
times, he forgot what he was supposed to say. And
That's
so, because, he would say, 3 words, and then he would just, turn away from the
And
microphone.
kinda look
and
up
then,
the ramp.
Yeah, and then it's is he,
he's
struggling to
thinking.
find what his words are supposed to be right here?
Well, if that was what he was supposed to say, he didn't have much to work with.
No, that's
absolutely not.
borderline succotash in my book.
But absolutely right call. I don't know what they do with Jason Jordan from here, but move him away from the Miz.
I think, obviously, they're going to continue the feud.
We'll see.
Yeah, I hope not, because you think otherwise, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the Shield versus the Bar.
Oh, man.
Match of the night, easy.
100%. Without question.
Yeah. Is it a match of the year candidate?
I don't know if I'd say that.
I would put New Day versus Usos.
All of them.
All of them.
The one I can't remember the exact pay-per-view name, but the one where Xavier took the sliding super kick off of his springboard elbow drop.
Oh, that was awesome.
That match itself, I feel like, was better than this match. Not to say that this match wasn't great.
Yeah,
but is it a candidate?
I'd put it in the top 25.
Top 25 of the year?
Yeah.
Outside of...
Are you talking main roster only?
I'm talking WWE.
Okay, I would say top 25.
Yeah, I
now.
still think there's way more NXT matches that are better than this.
Yeah,
I'd put it in the top 10. That's pretty good.
I don't know if I would, but it was still match of the night. Like, it was. This isn't taking away from like the match itself. The match was great. There's just been better, much better in my opinion. But how about Cesaro?
Dude's a champ.
That dude is a stud.
It didn't even. That little springboard didn't even look so bad, and also
and
his
then
face
he turns around. He's got a handful of blood.
So I rewatched that today. They had slowed it down, and you hit it, and he missed his hand completely, and just the top of his mouth just caught the metal part of the post.
Man.
Yeah, they said it shoved his teeth like 3-4 millimeters into his upper jaw, so like into his gums.
And he continued the match.
Finished the match.
I mean, that's a testament.
Took a super kick to the face.
Dude's,
Jesus
he's
Christ.
money.
Yeah.
How WWE has not valued him completely is beyond me.
That guy is
it's his mic
winner
work.
for sure.
He's not terrible. He has an accent, so
No,
I mean,
but,
obviously, like people aren't going to
his mic work is
towards him.
another
He's not
thing
terrible.
that's
No,
way
it's
improved.
not. It's not terrible, but yeah, like earlier on, like it was really lackluster
When they had
him
him in the Money in the Bank promo where they're all sitting on top of the ladders. He felt out of place in that situation.
Right.
That was what, a year and a half ago.
His best promo was probably when he got drafted to Raw, and then he was complaining
And
about.
that could have been shooting from the hip, to
Yeah.
be honest.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But no, I saw a tweet today saying that like he was old school tough. I
Oh,
agree
100%.
Big
Yeah.
time.
How about him with the revival? That'd be fun.
The three of them.
Yeah.
Stable.
I
As a
want
stable.
to see him stay with the bar, and when he moves from the bar, finally get the main run. He deserves it.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, when does... All right, so I do want to talk about this.
Supposed to have
Right.
left.
Sheamus is supposed to be leaving to film a movie, right? The revival's still out. Jeff Hardy, they just announced today, is going to have surgery. What tag team is left on Raw right now?
Other than Shield 2/3.
Right. Miztourage?
You got the Miztourage, you have Gallows and Anderson, and
That's it, right?
you don't even have the Colognes anymore. They're on SmackDown.
Yeah. Like, that's it, right?
To my knowledge.
It's healthy.
Without getting it,
You have the club, and so where does the Shield go from here if Sheamus is supposed to be leaving like they've said he's supposed to be leaving? What do they do now?
Well,
Because
he was supposed to leave after SummerSlam.
Right, but
That's why
it's
they dropped the belts, and he didn't. So is he still leaving?
well, I mean, it's a WWE movie he's going to film, so it's possible that they've
based off of
pushed
their
it.
timeline.
Yeah, that they just pushed it back to do this.
Well, if that's the case, I think they keep pushing it back because
Well, I mean, eventually you gotta.
you're right. They have nobody. You got to bring up like Authors of Pain or something. or
Well, see, so
Sanity.
I just read
You're
like
not gonna
they
bring up
sent
Sanity.
them back down. Like they brought them up and they were doing like live house shows, but then they sent them back
AOP.
down because they weren't ready. They weren't in ring ready.
This
Yeah.
might be one of those situations where you kind of have to based off of
Necessity.
injury. Yeah.
It's just like out of necessity.
Like, we got nobody on the field. We need you in the game.
Or they might
type situation.
mix it up and throw a little Cesaro and Sheamus, like how they just threw them together.
Right.
Might
Yeah,
have to
I
do
mean,
something like that.
that's
Crazy.
possible.
Take some eyes off the tag team division for a little bit.
That's possible. I wish.
Which is sad because they're starting, like, tag teams on both brands are starting to definitely get their stuff rolling.
Yeah, I wish TM61 has had more exposure down in NXT so that they could come out to the main roster because
They'd be
those two
fun to
guys are
watch.
so fun to watch.
Yeah.
But so I had the bar winning this one because I thought they were going to play hot potato with the titles for a little bit
I wish they
to
would've.
continue the feud, but
Keep the story rolling.
yeah, because like again, like, there was just no tag teams.
Right.
Because I can't say like they're going to do anything with Gallows and Anderson because they haven't done anything with Gallows
They
and
had too
Anderson.
much time to do anything with them.
Cesaro and Sheamus feel like the best tag team in WWE right now.
They complement each other.
They
way
do.
too well.
Remember how like
And I don't know if it's by design because I think it's by design. But Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins really do feel like just two lone wolves. Like
Yep.
they don't do any kind of like moves together.
Their offense does not mesh.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
just take turns coming in and going on runs.
Doing their own offense.
But that was-
Cesaro and Sheamus are constantly working together, and it's
Right.
fantastic to watch.
Remember how much like everybody, like when they announced the best of 7, everybody was like, "This is going to be so boring." And then they started just putting on like match after match. It was great matches, and by the 7th match, I was fucking invested. I wanted to see.
I wanted a winner.
Yeah, exactly. And then when they put them together, I was like, "This is such a cop out."
Yeah.
And then they turned into this, and they've been unbelievable.
To be fair, that heel turn was the best thing for both of them
I agree.
because it allowed them to be a little bit more offensive in their matches. They didn't have to kind of tiptoe around the beatdown offense that both of them are good at. Sheamus obviously being super stiff, Cesaro being, a juggernaut of a human being, being able to carry a building on his back.
Right.
Being able to then implement that into their offense seamlessly as a tag team, I think, hands down, they're probably the best tag team, close to the best tag team in WWE right now.
I still think that's the Usos, but yeah, they're
They're up there.
definitely up there.
Yeah. It made so much sense for Cesaro to turn heel too instead of Sheamus to go
Yeah.
face. And Cesaro's like reasoning for turning heel, like you're like that kind of makes sense.
Well, Sheamus's face runs have always been like crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're right. It made
He's not
so
a
much
believable face.
right. It made so much more sense for Cesaro to turn heel.
Right.
Absolutely. And the fans still love him.
Yeah. I mean,
But
you can
letting
still
them do things
appreciate
like
him.
go break that beach ball at SummerSlam.
So good.
The greatest part of that baby.
That was funny.
Killed
as hell.
that beach balls running them.
Yeah.
So what do we got next? We got Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt.
I guess we forgot to talk about this on the last one.
Yeah, we kind of like
Just overlooked it.
overlooked it. I Googled the No Mercy match card and I wrote down everything that was on there. And this was not on there. So someone else's mistake became my mistake.
Yeah. All right. It's fine.
Balor was wearing blue.
Dude, I actually liked it. I thought it was kind of cool.
Blue-gray.
He
Yeah.
never does it because it doesn't go with the demon paint.
Right.
But obviously,
He wasn't wearing demon
Yeah,
paint.
coming out as
his
a
Joe
demon,
Cool
so-
persona is definitely evolving a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right move having Baylor go over.
He looked like a star, man.
Dude,
But was there another choice?
no, but I will say this: like Baylor brought out what could have arguably been Bray Wyatt's best match on the main
I was
roster.
about to ask you
This
about
should have
that.
been Bray Wyatt from the beginning.
I was
Right.
going to ask you, do you think, Bray can still have those really good matches? Do you think that was just Balor elevating him?
I think he can still have the matches, but I definitely think in this case,
Because he
Balor
hasn't in
didn't.
a long time.
Right.
For me. Like, Bray Wyatt hasn't had a really good match in a while.
Well, who has he been feuding with though?
I mean, since before Randy Orton, I
I
haven't
was
seen
going
a
to
good
say,
match.
he can't get a great match out of Randy Orton anymore.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
It's not
so,
trustworthy anymore.
Not while he's face. If he
Right.
turns heel, you can go back.
oh yeah, absolutely,
Because Orton's
but-
a natural heel.
100%. But yeah,
His face
I-
run has been really underwhelming.
I wouldn't necessarily say like Finn like elevated Bray Wyatt, but he definitely like brought out the best Bray Wyatt we've seen so
Yeah.
far. If that makes sense.
The physicality
He
in the
brought out what
match
was already
was...
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but now I like Finn going over made sense. It's time for him to move away from Bray Wyatt
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, he beat him as a man, he beat him as a demon. There's no sense
I was going to say, yeah.
to continue this.
Right. I can definitely I wouldn't be surprised if they brought Luke Harper and Aaron Rowan back and redid the Wyatt family again.
Even
Because that's the
though
only thing that seems to work for
for
the
Bray,
three of them,
yeah.
and Bray especially.
Well, I think they need it more than Bray does. I think Bray just needs better direction and better writing.
No, I agree, but like his best direction and writing has come when he was with the Wyatt family.
Yeah, no,
So
I agree.
I can definitely see them bringing them back for that. So, I mean, that's just what I think. I'm not exactly sure where Finn goes from here, but
I wanted to see it be the IC title, but it looks like that's not going to be the case.
just rumors we're hearing now. It's possible that that's not going to be the case.
But I would love to see him put the title on
Big
Finn.
time.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh,
Definitely
alright.
deserve. I mean, you can make the argument that other people deserve it as well, but like Finn draws. The first time he came out on Raw before the injury, and no one knew, when
The
his
draft.
music hits to put his hand, your hands up. By the end of the show,
Everybody
he had
knew.
everyone in the crowd,
Right.
and like that's how quick he can get a crowd into him not as the Demon.
He beat Roman
He beat
clean
Roman
that night.
clean.
Yeah, he did
and
that entrance twice that night. And
Who
he
was
did
his pin in his Fatal 4-Way match? Was it Rusev?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
arguably two of the best workers in WWE right now.
Who?
Rusev and Roman.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
it depends on who you ask.
You don't, and that was around the time of Roman getting popped and kind of dealing with his comeuppance
so a lot of people thought that was just a punishment,
right?
Because that was like the second or third week in a row he lost clean.
Because Roman didn't.
Because he lost before that.
Right.
To Seth Rollins in the pay per view, and then
yeah.
Money in the Bank. So it was the night after Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And so it was the second night in a row losing clean. So a lot of people thought of it as a punishment when they should have looked at it as Finn Balor.
Right. And obviously, Trips is still high on Balor. I don't know where Vince lies with his want or desire to have Finn up there because, as the old saying goes, Vince likes big, sweaty men, and Finn is all of 5'11", 180 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of those big, sweaty men in WWE anymore.
Well,
like that not that get the attention at least.
No, but I mean, your main guys right now in the main event have been Brock, Joe, Braun, and Roman.
Right.
Do you want to see the Balor Club again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to see WWE take a turn, put their own little twist on what eventually could be this iteration of a Bullet Club type stable. Whether that involves Gallo and Anderson, I really hope it does. If it doesn't, do something else. Do something with him. Don't just allow 2 years to go by and you're like, man, I really wish we would have capitalized on having that.
It blew me away, like, when he was out with his injury, like, I saw more Balor Club shirts than anything else.
Yeah.
Besides maybe, like, the Certified G stuff.
Yeah. Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, his merch started flying off when he got
I
hurt.
was like, man, this guy was here for a month.
Yep.
Yeah.
He definitely hasn't had an impact. I want to kind of talk about Bray for a second, though. Like, when you said, obviously, Balor is the right decision on that, I wholeheartedly agree, because if Bray gets that pin, what does that do for either of them?
It just extends the feud if Bray gets the pin.
I don't...
Right.
Like, that's all it would have done, I
lessens
think.
Balor, because then it's like, oh, here we go again. We have to have another match with Demon Balor beating Wyatt.
Yeah,
right.
I think
it does.
If Wyatt won that match, it devalues Finn and the fact that he can't win unless he's the Demon King.
Right. And then that
So
devalues the Demon King in itself. So
I don't think this was as much about Bray as just solidifying Finn on his own.
I just feel like Bray
Which
is
is
continuing.
like, I hope that doesn't mean they're going to go away from the Demon King.
Right.
Sure.
I hope
but
this was just
it needs to
part of
be
his story.
Yeah. It can just be Demon King needs to be a special commodity where I don't even know if I want to see, like, I think I said it before and I think I've changed my mind on it. Like, I don't think I want to see the Demon King on every pay-per-view now.
I do.
You know what I mean?
Or
like
just,
like I just it's got to be big match
not a title
moments.
match.
Yeah, like I don't want to see Finn Balor versus Jason Jordan on a B-level pay-per-view where he's the Demon King. You know what I mean? Like, well, shit, maybe I do. Maybe that's the only thing that will make that match interesting. But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I agree. I don't think they're moving away from the Demon King.
When they had Jason Jordan like doing like his matches and losing, but like to like great guys,
Uh-huh.
it started out with Finn, and then they went to him losing to Cena,
and then
Roman Reigns. Do you
right.
think WWE
Is valuing Finn
in that,
along
yeah.
those lines? I would say so.
I mean, at least at some point they did, right? Because he was the first Universal Champion, and then he's always, even like
I
before.
think Triple H does. I don't know if Vince does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's like Rich said. I mean, it all has to do with Vince, how he views the size of the men that he likes to put over in WWE.
Yeah.
And Triple H is very much more like he knows like
The value of somebody of his ability
yeah,
to wrestle
your
more
in-ring
so
ability over Braun, and not Braun Strowman, but like over the size of a
Right,
person. You know what I
thought you were
mean?
talking about Braun Strowman.
No, like I
your
said
ability
that.
to pick up a house and throw it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like
Braun Strowman, I mean, not a knock on him, but he got where he is because he's so big and strong. Like that's
Yeah,
literally,
Right,
I mean,
but he's
good for him
definitely
for
one of
taking
those
the
guys that you
opportunity.
throw in the deep end and
Yeah.
he swam instead of sank.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
yeah,
He took the opportunity and ran with it.
Absolutely.
But he only got that opportunity because of his size. And his
Right.
yeah.
And-
I don't think he never wrestled a match in NXT.
No, I don't think
He was
so.
just a member of the
Yeah.
what you call it? What is it? Adam Rose.
Yeah, he was a Rosebud.
Rosebud, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came right up.
And then he went from there to the Wyatt family.
Black sheep of the Wyatt family.
Apparently, Bray Wyatt went to Vince McMahon. I was like, I want this guy. I want him.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
speaking of which, this is completely off topic. This Jinder Mahal promo that's getting a lot of heat. Apparently, Vince McMahon, according to Mahal, he just kind of threw Vince McMahon on the bus. He says, Vince worked with me on the whole time with promo.
How's that throwing him under the bus? It's probably true.
Yeah, but you're just like, "This is my boss."
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Somebody's dropping the belt at the next pay-per-view.
Dude, I mean, if something happens at my work, I'm gonna, and it's not my fault. I'll be like,
my manager.
look at my boss.
I had approval.
Apparently, Mahal's like, apparently Vince works on like every promo and stuff with him.
Yeah,
like really.
That's what Jinder said during Talk Is Jericho when he was on there.
Was it Talk Is Jericho?
Yeah, he said Vince does a lot of his stuff for him.
He did,
or works with him. Not does a lot, but works with him a lot.
He did say that he like is always asking Trips and like Hayes and Road Dogg like backstage, like what can I do extra? Like what else can I do to better us as a brand? And
right.
And in that sense, I do like him. In every other sense, I don't really care for him.
Yeah,
but that's way off topic.
Way off topic.
Yeah,
but
not bad. We brought up Vince. And I was like,
I still think Wyatt is on a very bad slope downhill, and he has been for.
I hate reading that people think that he's like unsalvageable. Though I don't.
No. I think he's one of the best talkers on the roster. It's just when your character doesn't deliver on said promises.
Well, that's what I said. Like I said it during the pay-per-view yesterday. Like Bray Wyatt is somebody who just he talks so well for somebody who doesn't fucking say anything. You know what I mean? Like. He is the epitome of all talk and no bite right now.
He's a guy that could use a winning streak away from a title. Like, he could just stay out of a title conversation. If he racks up 10, 15 wins
what title
quietly,
conversation has he been in for a while?
Well, I mean, other than world champion, none.
That's right.
But the problem is he's still losing. Like, have him face...
No, I agree.
Have him have a little feud with the Drifter or something just to build some momentum. Not in a sense to bury the Drifter, but I was just using it as an example. Like... Not development talent, but like that mid-card level stuff, just to give Bray a chance to build back up.
At this point in his career, like that would feel like it is hurting him.
Let me ask you both a question, because like in sports in general, like we tend to have short memories. Like it's what have you done for me lately?
Right.
So it's easy to forget like when someone does bad, like say in football, like if they're having a bad week, but also they have a good week, suddenly. Right. You're high on them.
The bad week doesn't exist anymore, yeah.
Is that the same case in WWE? Or
well, that's how Vince wants it to be.
Do you have more of a long memory in WWE, do you think?
I think in wrestling in general, you tend to have a little bit of a longer memory. Because if you didn't... Yeah, I think we have a long-term memory when it comes to wrestling. Because if we didn't, like, we would forget that Jinder Mahal went from a jobber to champion in a span of 3 weeks.
They really want us to.
Went to the least charismatic part of 3MB to WWE champion.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so I would definitely say within wrestling, we're supposed to have short-term memory, but we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to the two main events, the WrestleMania matches that were, pretty underwhelming.
Well,
John Cena and Roman Reigns wasn't a bad match.
No.
But it wasn't great.
No.
Like John Cena's style of wrestling is kind of getting old for me, where like he doesn't plan, and he just
quarterbacks the whole match.
Yeah, and then he plans the finish, but he doesn't like to plan anything else. He likes to just call a match, but it leaves for a lot of like dull moments where he's just he takes one punch and he falls down and he sells it for a minute, and then he stands back up, takes another punch and falls down for a minute. Like I get like they're kind of making it feel like a big match and like letting the fans soak it in, but when you get like 10 minutes of like really no action.
Well, didn't it feel like at the very beginning of the match that Cena was going to oversell everything?
Yeah.
Because like he was really selling everything, but then the pace kind of slowed down a little bit.
Roman Reigns went with it. He's like, I hit hard.
Right. Like trying to slow build, and then the build never built.
Right.
So it was just slow.
Just the way that Cena can work a crowd, though, is unbelievable.
With the fake, I'm just going to walk
out. Yeah, I'm just going to walk out of here.
There's no way that was planned. Like,
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Because it was based
really
off the chant.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like sellout or something.
Yeah.
No, they just started chanting, you both
suck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
so
both
Cena's
suck.
like, okay, well, I'll just leave.
Yeah. See, there's no way
and
that's
I think
planned.
that's one thing that like Roman doesn't have yet, is that ability to
not at
react to what the crowd is doing on the spot.
Right.
Not at all.
Because he does that,
Like-
I'm shaking my head, pumping up in the corner thing because the crowd's booing or cheering.
Yeah.
That's about all he does.
Well, he does. He always smiles too. Like he'll do that fake ass laugh.
A little, like,
Every time they
You
start
see
booing.
that a lot more on the indies where guys adapt to what the crowd is into.
And do you think that's because he has only been wrestling for 5.5 years, 6 years?
Oh, he's been a little longer.
Maybe.
Than that.
Well, he
I don't
wrestled
know,
for
but, like-
5 years as of 32.
Okay.
Like you see,
Well,
like
alright.
in the indies, if they chant like one more time or something, they'll do it one more time. If they chant,
Or they'll
you know,
fake the crowd out
Yeah,
and then flip
or-
off the crowd.
or we want tables. They'll get tables out.
Yeah.
But they started chanting like one more time or something for Cena. Oh, when he did the Super AA,
the
and,
Super
he kicked
Yeah.
out, and he's like, nah, and then he went to the table and just
Yeah.
continued their
Right.
spots. But
Here's the thing. Like, I don't know why Vince thought like having Roman kick out of 4 AAs was gonna make the
Looks-
fans be like, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, this guy is good." Like, I don't know why he thought that was gonna work. And then to beat Cena with one spear.
yeah, I've been reading a lot that it devalued his finisher.
Big time.
Yeah.
I thought it
Remember
was
when the
already
AA was a
devalued.
put away move.
Like I thought it was such a big deal when AJ Styles kicked out of
The Super AA.
and then,
Was that at Rumble?
yeah.
Yeah.
The first time, and then he did.
Well, he's
that was the
kicked
first
out-
time Cena did the roll up double AA.
Yeah.
He's kicked out of an AA every time they faced. So I thought like that was awesome, and he was just putting AJ Styles over. And then
Right.
Jinder Mahal kicks out of an AA, and I was like, oh, I don't care anymore.
And then Roman turns
Like-
around and kicks out of 4.
Yeah, the only person who can't kick out of an AA apparently is Baron Corbin. It only takes one to take him down.
Right. Well,
So
I-
that was the biggest story coming out of this. Was John Cena needs a new finisher.
right.
Pretty much.
But like this match went literally exactly how everybody thought it was
big
going to be.
time.
Roman went over.
Superman Roman
Yeah,
instead of Super
and,
Cena.
and then Cena was the I respect you now guy. You know what I mean? Like,
So-
I did see a cool picture though, and whether or not anyone wants to agree with it, that's fine. But it was it was 3 pictures. It was Hogan raising The Rock's hand at 18.
yeah.
It
And
was
Rock raising.
Rock raising Cena's hand, almost Rock with the same face,
Right.
and then Cena raising Roman's hand last night. And I think that parallel is obviously what is definitely being implied as the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
But I don't think the torch is ready to be passed.
I
Well, not to
think,
Roman.
No.
Do you think that little like goodbye thing he was trying to do, or staying in the ring?
He's
and
getting
stuff?
17.
No,
It's-
absolutely. But you think that was just because he was passing the torch, so that was him saying goodbye to being the top guy?
And I think he's taking time away from TV.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely where he's stepping away, and he
I think
comes back.
I read today
Mania season.
Survivor Series is the only other show that he's scheduled for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So,
which I wouldn't mind if he didn't. I mean, me personally, he doesn't have to be on that show for me to be invested in it because it's probably gonna be a rush storyline, whatever it is, unless he's part of a
Right.
team.
well, did you watch Raw Talk afterwards?
He would be because he's a free agent.
Right, he's just
Yeah.
he's the one in the
Special
middle.
guest
There's
referee.
5 versus Cena.
Yeah. Did you watch Raw Talk?
I did.
They asked him. They were like, "So, are you retiring?" And he's like, "I'm not retired." He's like, "I'm not leaving." He's like, "Things are just gonna change," and I think it's clear. It's just he's just like now he is a full part timer.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what
He's
I mean?
more of a part timer than he was.
Right. Like I think he's full blown part timer now.
So main event: Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman.
Talk about underwhelming.
Big
I'm
time.
so excited for it, man.
Wow.
The
It was
build,
biggest letdown.
the build did not.
It was
Follow
supposed
through.
to be 2 behemoths just slobbering each other, just
Yeah.
beating the hell out of each other.
I feel like there's no reason there should have been a clean finish in this match. Honestly, like I just
No, like it should have been like a double DQ or something,
Right.
like a double
Or
count
a
out or
weird
something.
count out,
Yeah.
like they put each other through the guardrail or something
Yeah,
9
something
times.
that
Right.
knocks both of them out.
Yeah.
exactly.
Somebody
but,
goes through the stage.
Makes,
but it takes one F5 to beat Braun.
after he kicks
He
out
should
like
have
5
no-sold it.
power slams.
Yeah.
He should have no sold it. Not at one.
He should have shot.
He hits him, then he just stands right up like,
Yeah.
nope. No, you can't, and I've talked to you probably for 4 weeks about this. WWE has booked themselves into a corner with Brock Lesnar.
100%.
They built 2, as of right now, of the Fatal 5-Way participants to be megastars, and then they just dropped one about 3 pegs below Joe. Because
Yeah.
Joe almost beat Brock.
He put on a
in
competitive
terms of
match.
kayfabe,
Right.
Joe almost beat Brock.
Right.
There was like an inch away from him winning that match.
Right.
Absolutely.
100%.
Last night, Braun Strowman lost.
Yeah.
Clean.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
he came out,
controlled the match and Brock caught him off guard. It was Braun was strong early on, and then Brock was like, "No, bitch, this is my title."
It felt like to me that like Brock Lesnar survived Samoa Joe, whereas with Braun Strowman threw everything at him,
and it wasn't
even
enough.
the kitchen sink. And then when Brock decided to end it, he ended it.
Right.
It was
like this.
There's nothing more Brock.
This
Braun
match
done.
felt no different than Brock Goldberg at Mania.
Well, Brock Goldberg was a better match.
That was a better match.
No,
and Goldberg
in terms
started
of
stronger
right,
than
and,
Braun did.
but
here.
that's what I mean. Like in terms of like how it went down, like Goldberg, 2 spears?
The
Brock
momentum,
kicks out.
The momentum Goldberg
yeah.
had going into the match.
Right, yeah, and then like Brock. Because it has been built up the same way when you think about it. Like Goldberg just like destroying Brock, Goldberg destroying Brock, Braun destroying Brock, Braun destroying Brock, and then that match is just like Brock was like, "Oh fuck it, I guess I'll show up and beat you now." Like that's how it felt, and this was the wrong guy for them to do that with.
Big time, and especially a guy that you allowed to manhandle Roman Reigns for a month and a half to 2 months.
Right.
You don't, from a booking standpoint, you don't take something that's white hot and throw water on it and then expect the crowd not to react negatively.
Yeah, WWE has they don't know when to strike when the iron is hot, and Braun Strowman is the perfect example. Even if you,
where does he go from here?
If you honestly wanted to do Roman versus Brock at Mania for the title, but rumor is that Brock might not be on TV again until January for the build-up to the Rumble. Why not put the title on Braun and then have Braun lose the title at the Royal Rumble again?
I don't think they need to put the title on Braun. I think they just need to make him like I said.
No, I'm not saying they had to, but I'm saying this is why couldn't they have done that?
Right,
is what
that
I'm
would
saying.
have been a better option than making him look weak.
They
because
want Brock to have that full year. They want him to seem unbeat, like he's gone through everybody.
Right, but now it's October and Brock isn't going to be on TV for 3 months.
Yeah,
like that is. I mean, that's ridiculous.
What happened right after Mania? He was off for like 2 months then.
That doesn't mean it was right. Like everybody was still like, "This is bullshit." Like it doesn't mean it was.
They've had this plan all year. They're this close. They're not going to change it now.
Right?
No, that they should have. like that's all I can like. WWE, they change the outcomes of matches mid-match.
Right.
Like, why can't they think rationally? Why can't Vince think rationally in this to put the title on somebody that's gonna be there week after week?
An odd thing that I kind of caught on last night and thinking about it today. We had another B show where only one belt changed hands.
Right.
And it was probably not the best belt to change hands. But
it was absolutely the worst.
Yes.
But
without question.
Do you think they go into it thinking about, okay, well, this is a B pay-per-view. We don't need to, let's save something for Survivor Series. Let's save something for a Big Four show. Do you think that is a mindset, regardless of where they're at in a story? Do you think that they value what pay-per-view they're at and what point in time they're at in the year more so than where the storyline could take them?
Not always, I don't think.
See, I think differently. I think that, especially with their main titles, if it's not an A pay-per-view, they don't necessarily value its title changing hands as much as if it were on a B show.
Well, but I mean, I think we've seen it like time after time though, where like a title isn't being defended on one of their major pay-per-views,
and getting to probably a future B show that might not have those titles defended, you're going to be in another situation where that is prominent on your quote-unquote flagship show.
Okay, I mean, yeah, but
again, I agree. Braun probably should have won last night. Especially if they're definitely doing Brock versus Roman at Mania.
So, question for you: where does Braun go from here? Because,
I have no idea.
He can't hang out in the main event after getting manhandled like that. Yeah. Joe has that.
They probably feel like they made him look strong, but they really
no. I feel like with every match where I'd say most of these feuds have kind of been blown off, right?
Yeah.
Braun, with all those other people, I feel like I have a general idea of where they might go with these people. I legit have no idea what you do with Braun
because
now.
We think Roman Reigns is going to feud with Miz, right? He's
right. So that's so that's what they're talking is that at TLC, the main event is supposed to be Miz Taraj versus The Shield,
which sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
but what does this leave for Braun. Samoa? Because he's supposed to be back.
I was going to say he's supposed to be back soon.
He's supposed to be back. He's supposed to be out 8 weeks, which was supposed to be right around now.
Right.
So he could be coming back, but that's
but
two heels.
Finn, like you put him in with Finn?
See, I don't know. That's the tough part about like
if you're gonna
Braun can survive an ambulance getting slammed into a semi truck, but one F5 puts him down.
Right.
Like
now
he looks susceptible to a guy like Finn.
The only thing that makes me feel better about what happened last night is that I think and I remember Kalisto beat Braun Strowman.
So if Braun would have
he ended his streak.
Kalisto would have come out at the end of that show and challenged Braun to a Universal Championship match.
But it had to be a dumpster match
at TLC.
If the
TLC and
dumpster.
If the plan is for Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble, then it makes sense for Finn Balor to face Braun Strowman now and to go over.
I guess.
He's going to have to.
But
I'm not have to, but I mean, that's really all they're going to have accessible until... I mean, you have to go, through 2 pay-per-views between now and Rumble?
Yeah, it'll be... well, you'll have TLC, you have Survivor Series, which is the November pay-per-view, right? And then so you'll have one in December?
Right,
or do they...
The December one is to be determined.
Right, so 3 pay-per-views between now and Rumble. Is that what you were saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So they have... Yeah, TLC, Survivor Series, and then
whatever the December pay-per-view is going to be.
Unless that one is SmackDown.
Well, they usually do 2 a month.
They have
What's
TLC left. They have Survivor Series, and then they have a TBA for December 17th.
Right. So
they only got 2.
Oh, and then they would start heating
Raw
up for Rumble after that. Because I think that one might end up being a SmackDown show.
So you could have like Finn versus Braun at TLC or something, and then like a number 1 contender match in the December.
Which, can we speculate on what that pay-per-view is going to be called? You know it's going to be something ridiculous. It's going to be fucking WWE presents Santa's Little Helper. The Workshop. It's going to be something stupid like that. Like, come on. If they thought Great Balls of Fire was a great idea, just wait till what the December pay-per-view is going to be called.
Holiday Havoc.
It's going to be something stupid. And you know there's going to be a sleigh ride match in there.
Or like a buried alive in the snow.
Exactly. I hate wrestling.
Other than Bullet Club's hanging out outside.
Yeah, so apparently Bullet Club is pulling a DX and invading WWE.
Do you think this is in any way playing with WWE?
No.
Doubt it.
I don't see that.
Just showing
I think Vince is probably like plotting to open the doors just so they breach their contracts.
How great would that be though? Like, even if like not to breach their contract, but just like Vince is like, you know what?
I'm just going to see what happens.
Screw it. Let's see what happens. Like, it just comes in and writes them all in a match.
Well, because as of right now, the only 4 or 5 participants of the Bullet Club that are out there, including obviously Mrs. Rhodes, is Cody, Marty Scurll,
Hangman
both
and
Bucks, and Hangman Page.
Right.
And about 400 Bullet Club diehards.
So they got the fans with them?
Oh,
yeah.
I guess they marched from the mall that they were at down to the arena.
I wonder whose bride that was. I bet some fans.
That was the Bucks. No, I bet it was the Bucks.
Well,
man.
the Bucks and Cody are the ones that came up with it. And I think Cody and Marty got there late, according to their tweets.
It's a great way to get eyes on you.
Big time.
Well, did you watch
Hot Topic at the mall?
Did you watch the Elite?
Not the episode
of being the Elite.
Posted, no.
Yeah, so they kind of referenced it at the end that something was going to happen because they were doing the whole "Where's Hangman" thing. Who kidnapped Hangman?
Well, did you see any of the highlight? Because we didn't watch the ROH show.
Right.
But did you see some of the highlights?
Yeah.
He came out of the crowd, duct taped over the mouth, and said that WWE kidnapped him.
And that's covered in being the Elite.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like they're like, what did they make you do? And he's like, Paige is like, you're not ready. And they're like, what did they make you do? And he's like, they made me watch all 3 hours of Raw. And they're like, oh, he's like, and SmackDown Live. And they're like, oh, that's not bad. He's like, in the Mae Young Classic. And they're like, okay. And he's like, and 205 Live. And then they just fucking lose it. They're like, how dare those motherfuckers do that to you?
They're so good at internet. Like,
yeah, man.
If anyone merchandises themselves, it's them. Like,
100%.
and obviously with the 80% shirts in any crowd ever.
That's why a lot of people think they'll never come to WWE because they make so much money.
They'll make less money. They would.
They'll lose money, giving WWE a big cut of it.
I was at...
Unless they can work out some deal where they get the majority of their merchandise. So that's the only way I can see them.
But, I mean, to kind of put emphasis on that, I was at Buzz Under the Stars.
And I saw what that means?
Okay, it was a concert put on by 96.5 The Buzz.
Oh, okay. Why are you shouting out other stations on our show?
Anyway, I saw like 6 Bullet Club shirts at a Snoop Dogg concert.
Yeah.
That's basically like the extent of like how far they are reaching. Like it's not just wrestling fans anymore. I'm pretty sure like it's just mainstream appeal.
Right. I will say like this is a little off topic concert wrestling. I went to the Killswitch concert sometime last year.
Was Seth there?
No, but I had my Ambrose shirt on. And dude, so many people came up to me and just like started talking wrestling with me.
Dude, wrestling fans are weird. They
like,
just talk to you out of nowhere.
I know. It's like this dude literally, he's like, "Give me a hug," and I was like, okay. Don't rate me. You know what I mean? Like, wrestling fans are weird. I've said this before. I'll always say it. There's no group of people I hate more than wrestling fans.
Says like the biggest wrestling fan. Yeah.
I know. But isn't it like other wrestling fans are, I fucking hate them.
Yeah. There's good and bad eggs
when
it comes to wrestling. Like when we went to, not to go further off topic than we already are, when we went down to San Antonio for Rumble and we got to go to an Evolve show, like some of the guys that we were sitting next to were very knowledgeable, obviously. They had followed Evolve and kind of filled us in on who certain guys were, the fact that Dustin / Chucky T was a dick, just stuff like being very welcoming to fans that maybe haven't seen that product before, and I think that's where wrestling fans need to kind of start.
But they also came off really smarky when they did it.
True. But be more welcoming to guys who maybe haven't watched wrestling, maybe haven't watched certain programming like Evolve, if you're a casual WWE fan. If you're a diehard fan that only watches WWE and NXT, maybe talk to somebody that you know for a fact watches New Japan or watches ROH, and it just kind of broadens everybody's horizon, so to speak.
For sure.
I think the only reason I started watching, like even TNA back in the day, was because Jeff Hardy left. He went to TNA, and that's how I got to know guys like AJ Styles.
Right, because you have a Hardy hard on, right?
He was my favorite wrestler for like my entire childhood.
Right.
He's not anymore.
Was that when Hayes was still bringing them down to the ring?
Yeah, this was.
With who?
No, it
when they were the Brood 2.0?
Yeah.
Like, that was right where I started watching this when that ended. And they were doing, like, TLC stuff.
Like, right at the beginning of the TLC stuff.
So, like, right around the Team Extreme time?
Yeah, because I was watching WCW before that.
Right.
That's when I started watching WWE. Because I remember the first time I turned on, like, WWE, like, Kane was putting someone in a bloodbath or something. I was like, this is too brutal.
Dude, I feel like that's literally how my time went too, because I was always a WCW guy, and I would like turn on WWE, and it'd be like the Undertaker coming out, and I'm like, this is too scary for me.
Just put people on crosses.
Yeah. I'm like, this guy's really the devil killing people. Like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
But no.
But I was 7. Fuck you guys.
That's how
I was terrified
Kane
Kane as a kid.
Really?
Dead serious.
Especially that voice
Kipper
box.
Arena. His music hit. I sprint down the stairs into the tunnel before his pyro went off. Because you know how it had that like organ overtone thing?
Yeah.
Like before the pyro hit, I'm like almost to the concession stand, and then it goes off, and I like drop to the ground.
You know, maybe like my problem too is like the very first like WWE pay per view I ever went to, a guy died at, that probably didn't help. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
All right, I think that's all we have for you guys today.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us here on 816 Podcasting Presents Episode 8 of Mark Out Wrestling. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook at 816 Podcasting. Make sure you check out From Sacco to Shiva with Chase and Tom. They're doing really good things. They're hit over 100 views twice now. So this might become like a regular thing.
We get like 6, right? We get like 6 a video.
Well, because I was when our first episode was called The People's Podcast.
Right.
And apparently people Google that. So
yeah.
That one is almost at 100 now. But yeah. When I don't tag The People's Podcast, it gets little views. When I tag The People's Podcast, we get like 40 views.
Well, tag it. Like, what are you doing?
All right, guys. Thank you.
For sure.